Hi and welcome back to this channel, and I'm going to be talking about what makes for a bad CIC idea. So I help people set up community interest companies. I have people coming to me all of the time running their idea for a CIC past me. So I've noticed that there are certain characteristics of what I would call a bad idea. So I'm going to go over those in this video. So if you are at that stage where you're wondering, is my idea going to get grant funding? Is this a good idea or not? Should I go with this? Do I need to tweak it up? Do I need to speak to Kelly? Or, maybe you're just in that ideas process. So I'm going to help you by going over what I find are the 5 pitfalls. These are the 5 things that constitute a bad CIC idea that will lead to inevitably rejection after rejection from different grant funders and will make it so difficult for you to get off the ground. It will also waste loads of your time. So I'm going to go over the 5 elements of a bad CIC idea in this video. But before I get into that, please hit the subscribe button for everything to do with community interest companies and grant funding. Make sure you get my course, How to Set Up CIC and Get Grant Funding in 4 months. It's still only £99 and it has a ton of short little videos in it which will walk you through each section. There is so much value and gold in there. Definitely go and get it. I have been adding to it recently as well. So it's got everything from setting up CIC to fundraising to filling in your first application form. It's amazing. So go and do that. And just so you know that it does work, I get people setting up from the course and getting 20,000 from the National Lottery within weeks of doing the course. In fact, somebody messaged me the other day saying they just got 50,000 after they did my course. So it definitely works. So if you want to go for that, link is in the description. So that aside, let's get into it. Probably around 600 people sign up on my website every month, just to give you an idea of the volume of people that are looking to set up a CIC and that come to me. So large volume of people come over, and definitely I tend to sift through, and I will only teach and mentor people who have a workable idea. If somebody doesn't have a workable idea and I'm not confident and I know that that's not going to work, I send them away and say, you need to think about this, this and this. So to save you time and to make sure that you have got the right idea, I'm going to go over my 5 reasons for bad ideas in this video. Reason number 1 why a CIC idea can be bad is if the CIC owner has linked it too much to their LTD business. So I find this happens, you'll have an LTD business that'll be like, yeah, we want to set up a CIC so we can offer what we do in our LTD free to some people who can't pay. That's not enough. And often they'll make a mistake where they'll try to call it the same name but with CIC or a similar name, or they'll put their own personal name in it. That all looks like it's not a community project. That looks like it's too much self-interest. Now, if you've got a successful LTD, absolutely you can set up a CIC, but it needs to look different. It needs to look different. It needs to have a different name. Yes, it can target the people who can't afford your main product, your main service, but it needs to do it in a way that involves the community more. So for example, say you're a beautician, you've got a salon. So think about opening a CIC that maybe helps train young women who are disadvantaged into getting into those careers. You can do that in a way that maybe you do work experience, you run like a job club with them, you run confidence skills building workshops where you focus on their mental well-being and their confidence, team building. So you do other skills that aren't just the actual, beautician trade. So think about it like that. So you absolutely can have an LTD alongside the CIC, but you need to pivot away. So think about the other problems that those customers have who can't afford to do your services. Think about maybe say you're a life coach or something as your business, but some people can't afford it. So think about working with a disadvantaged group. Maybe you're going to work with women who've experienced domestic abuse, or maybe you're going to be working with young women, or maybe men with mental health problems. Think about a target group and what their issues are, and think about the disadvantage and why they can't be a paid customer over there. So really your customer is a totally different person. To your paid customer in your LTD is a different person than the person that's going to engage with your CIC. So think of them like that, as different people, not just somebody who wants to have your service for free over in your LTD. That's not really enough. And also you need to involve the community more. So you'll obviously need to have your directors, maybe get some volunteers, involve the community more in your design. And that leads me on to point number 2. The next thing that I think constitutes a bad CIC idea is when a CIC owner has no community whatsoever. Maybe they don't even have a customer base. They have nobody and they've come up with an idea. They haven't spoken to anybody about it. They haven't done any surveys. They haven't done any community engagement. They've not run any pilots or tasters. They've just got an idea. Like, you're not ready. You're not ready to set up a CIC if you don't have a community. Because how do you know anyone will even go to your activity or your workshop? You need to run some tasters. So this is something that I build into my program. I get people to do tasters. That's something I talk about a lot in my program. The importance of doing the surveys, the importance of doing the tasters. So I do that a lot in my course. So you'll be able to go over and do that over there. And number 3 is just badly planned. Like, sometimes CIC owners will come to me and they just haven't planned it out. They haven't found a venue. They've not got any quotes. They haven't thought about how much time or, they're going to be putting into the project, how they're going to advertise it. They just haven't planned it. They haven't talked to any partner organisations. They've not done any research. Have you checked out, whether there's another similar CIC in your area? Is there a need? Like, you need to do some planning, some research. So you really need to do those things if, you're going to come up with a good CIC idea. And then leading on from that, we've got number 5, which is just a bad budget. Sometimes people come up with a project idea. The idea is okay, but the budget is bad. They've just got really unrealistic ideas for the budget. Maybe they want to, spend money on an asset vehicle and they want to put that on an application. Well, the National Lottery won't buy you a minibus. So that's just not a good idea. So you need to think about how you can alternatively crowdfund maybe for the minibus or hire it or whatever. You need to think about what's the budget for the accommodation, particularly those of you in London where the rents are so high. Often National Lottery will turn them down because the rents are so high. So you need to make sure your budgets are realistic. Don't put contingency costs. Make sure you properly planned out your budget so it looks efficient and a good use of public money. So those are the things that really matter. Sometimes people will come up with an idea and it's just so ambitious and they want to run a festival, but they've never run one before. And they want to apply for 60 grand for a festival and they've never run one before. They haven't priced it up well. They don't really know what they're doing. And the grant funders will just look at that and be like, nah, it's just a bad idea. Like, we're not going to take the risk and put our money to that. So a good idea is properly budgeted. It is streamlined, so it looks like it's good value for money. So value for money is key. That's what the grant funders are looking for. So just to summarise, overall, when I see bad CIC ideas, it's usually because they haven't planned it out, they haven't worked with their community, maybe it's too much of a self-interest idea. You're not thinking enough about your community. So think about pivoting. Think about pivoting on all those areas I've just talked about. How can you make sure you're going to, just tweak up your idea so that it covers all of those things? Now, I have to say, I have an amazing talent for working people through these things. So when people have got a bad idea, they come to me and I'm just like, yeah, okay, well, you could do this, just add that, just say this, just reword it like this. I'm just very good at that. And that's one of the reasons why I say join my membership, so that you have access to my brain on a regular basis. So you can ask me Q&As all of the time and I'll just give you new ideas. I have people come into our weekly sessions and they'll come in with an idea and I'll just be like, yeah, do this, do that. And they're like, fantastic, great. And then they just go away with that action list. So definitely join my membership if you're going to set up a CIC, just so you have access to me so I can help you plan your projects. So the grant funders, think they're a good idea. So I hope that helped. Please hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed that video and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.